open it up, a raccoon comes out and...
That would have been a terrible, terrible video. Alright, hey everybody, and welcome back to well, I guess this is the very first Toy Stories where I'm bringing in guests every week to tell us about toys that affected their childhood and...
Tell the story of it?
Tell the story of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so John, I asked John to do this a while ago. John's also a big contributor to the channel. And he was like, oh, I've got a box that I haven't opened since the 90s.
Pretty much.
And this is why I started collecting. So tell me about what's in this suitcase.
This is what I keep, what started me collecting in. And when you said, let's do Toy Stories, I was like, well, what can I talk about? Of course, the Optimus Prime in my life.
Yeah, well, I figured you had, you know, everything. I always say, oh, look what I got. And you're like, yeah, I've got 2 of these.
Right. And it's because I kept all of them and went through this crazy collection period in my life. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, what started my collection? And this is it.
All right. Well, let's spin it around, and
All right.
I'll let you do the honors.
So...
Satisfying. Let's dump it out.
Yeah, let's get it out.
This looks like this. I didn't realize
These
they were
are
all
carded.
carded.
Too. Yeah.
Oh well, they're open, but
they're open, but they're carded.
Look at that.
So, and there's Riker. Don't worry, we got him.
We got him. Look at the care you put into it. To, like,
I did.
I open it all the way.
Right.
So
I was really careful with these, and I was very
there's
careful.
A spider in here.
Oh God.
God, gross.
I told you I haven't opened it in years.
I'm surprised that's the only.
Right? Open it up, a raccoon comes out and...
That would have been a terrible, terrible video.
I loved Star Trek, and until I discovered Babylon 5, I didn't realize there was other sci-fi out there, really.
Well, yeah.
And then it just exploded my world, and I was no longer just a Star Trek fan. But this is actually the original run of the toys, made by Galoob. Galoob had the contract for making Star Trek toys right off the bat for Next Generation. The molds weren't really that great. It kind of looked like them, but not really. The articulation was, well, I mean, you can just see with this.
Yeah.
The biggest articulating feature in this is actually the knee joints.
That's crazy.
And that is it. And even those, they're little pin joints. But the arms didn't move. They're in fists. Everyone's in a fist, so it's basically the same arm over and over. And the same thing with this.
Oh yeah, it is the same mold.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same mold. See?
Yeah, just different head.
Just different head. And that way they could save a lot of money doing this.
That bears a passing resemblance to
right.
Patrick Stewart.
And they came with a phaser, which didn't come out, and they came with
Was that a phaser or a communicator?
That's a phaser. The communicator was the badge.
That's right.
And they also had a tricorder, which was really...
Does this attach, or does it just...
Okay, so get this. You slip it over them like that, and they carry it like a purse.
Ah.
And okay, so the tricorder, the mold is pretty bad on this. It basically looks like an old school cell phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, really.
The old bricks.
And here's the great thing. They can't hold it at all. You can't use it. It's not playable. Like, unless they're wearing it like that.
It seems like one of those last minute, hey, we got a new Star Trek show. Right. We need toys next week. What do you got?
Right. And
well, we got a cell phone purse.
And so these came out in the, I think it was 88, 89 line by Galoob. And Galoob kind of, as you can see, just cranked something out. Now, the cards were actually pretty cool. This is probably the worst card right here.
Worf.
And Worf, because they cut them out of a blue screen.
Oh, and you can see it.
Yeah, and even on the back, like, they didn't even bother.
Yeah, it's the same photo.
They didn't bother replacing the background like they did with everyone else with stars. instead. They just cut them out of the blue screen. That's how cheap this was.
You could tell they didn't intend to sell these two, but they had to have figures out.
Yeah, the Ferengi is a screen capture from an episode. They also had the phaser, which I do have. As soon as I got it, it fell apart.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and like the little sound thing that you could adjust the noise or whatever didn't really work. It was essentially a flashlight that made noise. But yeah, the molds aren't the greatest. They're not superposable. The paint's okay.
Yeah, your Data.
Data looks awful.
It just looks like a guy with brown eyes.
Yeah, and I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one
Paint on it?
with the spots. He's got spots all over his face. I don't even know if you can see that in the camera. It's like itty bitty spots.
See if we can zoom in.
And this was the paint job. Like, it was crazy.
Oh, it just came like that.
Yeah, it came like this.
It looks like they were just spray painting something black nearby it, and
yeah. And I don't even know at this point what the value is in any of this, or if there's value. But I'll tell you this: when I got these, I'd always gotten toys before that I was really proud of, usually and kept, but had never gone, okay, we need all the Transformers, we need all the Voltron. You know, it was never like that. But with this, something changed.
Yeah.
And I kept the cards, and my dad was like, you know, you love these so much, here's an old suitcase.
Yeah, keep it safe.
And I kept it safe, and this started my collection.
Right.
I don't know, there's something very simple about these toys, obviously. But to me, this is why I got into collecting.
Right.
This is what, even looking at it now, like a little part of me is like, whoo, and I kind of like, oh, I can pick this collection back up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like you said, value earlier. Like, I don't know the value.
Right.
To me, value doesn't matter. Like, as a fixer and reseller, like a toy's worth what you're gonna pay for it and what your audience is gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I have stuff that I way overpaid for, but because to me, it was special. Like the Ultra Magnus I started this channel on, I spent way too much money on. I didn't even know the value of it, but I didn't care because it was so cool. And now, you know, it's just, you know, if it's expensive and you want it, it doesn't matter, man. It's what you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So there is no such thing as value. I mean, there is to some people. If you're into that, if you're into like checking eBay, you go to the toy fair and you're like, oh, let me get on eBay. I can get this for $5 cheaper on eBay. Well, then that's not collecting. That's just stock exchange.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And you know, I've also seen people that this is one of the few things that I kept cards on until it just got out of hand.
Right.
And then, but that's a story up for another time.
We'll go into that next week.
Yeah, that's why I have a toy. That is why I stopped collecting. But this was starting up the collection, and one of the special pieces is this.
Man, you could injure somebody with that.
Yeah, it is.
Is it
substantially heavy?
All die cast?
All die cast.
Yeah, no plastic on this.
No.
There's a little plastic,
but I thought this, you know, aside from the no paint details on the windows, and some like minor paint issues that originally it had. This is not scuffed or anything. Like, I tried to keep good care of this because this is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite models of the Enterprise D, and it's great. I think mold-wise, the details are brilliant, and you can feel it in it, and it's so heavy. And we'll flip it over. I mean, they really did a great job on this. I hate that the paint probably wasn't a little bit better, but as far as the mold and how it's built.
Yeah, I mean, just making all those little grooves,
yeah.
It's insane.
Okay, let me show you why this is so awesome. And I've stopped doing this a long time ago because it does scuff the paint every time, which is a problem. But let's see, there we go.
The detachable saucer. Didn't this have a crash landing? Like, was it just the saucer or was it the whole ship?
No, this blew up. That had a crash landing in Generations.
Yeah.
But even on this, the details in here, you can see the battle bridge.
Yeah.
And it's funny though, like they put so much detail in the mold, but if you look at it, like the paint is sideways on it.
Yeah.
It's not centered. And that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like a little stamp or...
Right. And it's funny to me, like they put so much time and care into certain things about these toys. Like you can see the captain's yacht, you can see so many details in this mold. But then once they had it done, they were like, okay, let's get it out the door. But to me, this was the coolest thing ever. And it still is, to say the truth. Like, I think about it every now and then. That's how crazy I am about it. And busting it out and just playing with it. Finding these was truly finding something.
Right.
And that's why to this day, I normally will not buy off of eBay.
Yeah,
or
I try to avoid
Amazon. Yeah. Like, I have to go and find them.
Yeah.
And the more that I can tell that someone loved them, like if I were to find these open like this, I would buy this over a closed one.
Yeah, I have one carded figure, and that's just because it was autographed by Casey Kasem, who's no longer with us. But other than that, I hardly ever or would never buy something on a card, maybe in a box, because you can pull it out of the box without doing too much damage.
Right, like boxes are a little different, but yeah.
Start wrapping this up. I have an observation about this set, and that, you know, this is a defining moment in your life picking these up. When you think about it, because this is what turned John on to sci-fi, and without sci-fi you would not be who you are today.
Truth.
So like, to think about it, like these figures, these little plastic know nothing. This is why I love toys. This defined John into one of my best friends, and you know, who knows who you'd be like. You'd probably be like some, hey, what's up, how's it going, hey girl. But no, you're a sci-fi nerd, and I love it. I love like just seeing like the physical manifestation, the thing that made you you, and holding it. It's like, oh, I get it. Like I totally get it. So that's just something, you know, that's why I started this channel, and why I've been collecting and this and that. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
It is. So, like just busting this out, and literally it's been a good 10, 15 years since I've opened this.
Yeah.
Like just busting this out makes me so happy. Like the last time I opened that box, I gave away the Geordie figure, and I opened it to show someone. They couldn't touch it. But
except Geordie.
Except for Geordie. I opened it to show someone, and that was it. And I didn't even open my favorite of these, this die-cast Enterprise D.
Yeah, it's crazy to hold it. I feel like I could throw this at something.
And hurt someone.
And it'd be fine.
Right. Oh, no, you could.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, it is that heavy, but I love it, man.
Cool. Well, that's what the series is all about, is just like, this is a defining moment in John's life. And that's what I wanted to do with Toy Stories, is tell why collections are important. It's like, everyone has them, like, yeah, this is important to me, but why? I don't know, it's a collection. It's something I've had forever. And like, this is the moment, this is the deciding factor in John's life that made him a big-time sci-fi nerd and collector.
Yeah. And I will say this, too, like, a lot of people, you know, don't have this part of the story when they started collecting, especially with sci-fi and toys and stuff. My dad supported me wholeheartedly. Like, never questioned it.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's your thing. And for that, I really appreciate it, because he was big into westerns and stuff, and you know, my grandfather was big into sports, but none of them ever questioned what I loved, and they supported me. They didn't understand it, but they supported me.
No, same thing. Like me, and you, and my brother, all three were raised by our fathers.
Yeah.
Predominantly. My mom died when I was very young, and my dad was running a business. He was a photographer, music recorder, videographer. He did the whole gamut in the 90s. So he bought us toys mostly to keep us entertained, because he worked 80 hours a week just so we could survive, and he wouldn't have to get a normal job, and ultimately led to this great studio that we're in. So, I mean, that's something that we've bonded over a lot, is being raised by a father, which is a rare thing.
It is.
But, you know, Dad's really got it. And that's what I like a lot.
Me too.
Anyways, let's wrap this thing.
Yeah, dude, this has been great. Thank you so much.
Is so cool. Like, I want to keep this series going. I'm going to try to do this every Friday, with either like something like really big like this or something really small, something as small as like the Voltron I'm building, or you know, just some old toy we have laying around, and like why after 20 years
we still
have this?
Right.
Yeah. So anyways, that's it. That's it for Toy Stories this week. Hopefully next week we'll be back with another one.
And if you have a Toy Story, I mean, tell us about it.
Totally share it with us.
We would so love to know. Send us some pictures, maybe, whatever. Just post about it, because we'd love to hear it. Because every Toy Story is different.
Yeah. Without the story, this is just a hunk of metal.
Right.
And I mean, and that's all it is.
That is all it is.
So, you know, be sure to let us know. Tell us your stories. Maybe we'll invite some of you guys down. Invite some more of our friends. I love this as a conversation. So, like, if it's just me talking to the camera, I'm terrible at this. But
this is fun.
But having the conversations, what it's all about.
Man, and thank you. Thank you for reminding me of this and letting me bust it out and play with them again.
Yeah, no problem.
I got to do it one more time.
Last time for, what, another 10 years?
Another 10 years, yeah. Oh, man. I love it.
Cool. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Let us know that you like the video so we know to make more of them. And we'll see you again next week.